Hi, good day. I'm Sandeep, and you're watching The Weekender at 5. In today's headline, 202 new community cases reported today and 63 in MIQ. In a statement from the Ministry of Health, it was reported that there were 202 new community cases and there were 14 cases in hospital. In another news, in another news, temporary migrants who are living on shore, they are disappointed that their partners have been left in the queue towards the end to be eligible to return back to New Zealand. To read more on this news, do go into Indian Weekender's website. In today's interview section, we continue to discuss and delve on the things emanating from the latest announcement by government about border reopening. Last Thursday, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that New Zealand government would be opening its border in a 5-step process starting from 27th February later this month till October later this year. As expected, this decision had been an emotional roller coaster. A lot of New Zealanders would be getting an opportunity to return back. A lot of temporary migrants would also be getting an opportunity to return back, provided they are on the right visa and have got the right skills as per the requirement by the government. And on the flip side, unfortunately, many temporary migrants who are stuck overseas won't be as lucky yet to be able to enter back into New Zealand. However, this important decision is going to have a significant impact on the whole travel industry. Travel industry, as we all know, particularly air travel, international travel industry, has come to a rude halt from last March 2020, when this global pandemic first emerged on the scene. So after 2 years of long hiatus, probably there is a good ray of hope for the travel industry to be revived in coming near future. So to discuss on this, we have got Mr. Pradeep Kumar of Eco Travels joining us today on our show. And I would like to welcome Pradeep. Hi, Pradeep. Thanks for joining us today. How are you today?
Hi Sandeep ji, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for inviting.
I'm sure. I'm very good, thanks. Hopefully, I can say about you as well. Travel
Thank you.
industry has been on the receiving end. So how are you are feeling after this latest announcement?
Oh, very happy. And we are excited and looking forward for a great time going ahead. So after a very long time, like for a travel industry, there was a uh, play now. So we were on pause for almost 2 years now. It's a really long time, and yeah, we are hoping like there's gonna be good days. Acha din aayega.
Sure. बिल्कुल
So
बिल्कुल
hoping for
बिल्कुल
that.
we
Yeah.
all we
So
all are living in that hope that अच्छे
yeah,
दिन आएंगे, and it will affecting every segment of our society and economy. Now
true.
coming back, and let's talk more about this latest decision. From what we have been hearing in the community, that people probably are still not having the full trust in this government's announcement about the border opening dates. So what are your experiences? What kind of messages
Yeah,
you are
that's
getting from
true.
people?
Yeah, that's true. Like because government of New Zealand have announced the border reopening plan a couple of months ago. So then they went back onto the on the words like after the Omicron, hit the world. So even they've been advised by the WHO that there will be a new variants gonna come, and also the vaccination needs to be. It was around 80%, but still government changed their words. Like after in the previous release like about the border reopening plan. They were supposed to open the borders on 14th of February, but they went back on that word and they said like no, they changed the mind or they changed the date, and they kept people without any answers like during from December till January. So, but now when they announce a new dates, most of the people are not trusting and they're still thinking that there may be a date change again. So people are
So
just
they
calling
are.
us like we are receiving heaps of calls just for the information, and
Mhm.
we mostly hear like around 90% of the calls they just say okay, we'll wait for some more time, like maybe 1 more or 2 more months, then we will plan our travel because we don't want to get stuck without any answers and things like that. Yeah.
Surely, no,
So
no.
these type
Thanks,
of
thanks
things we
for
are getting.
letting us know about that. That people they are calling you, getting
Yeah.
information, but they are still
Yeah.
stopping short from buying ticket. So, what is the reason? क्या पिछली बार जब गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया था बॉर्डर ओपन करने के लिए थे,
Yeah.
उस समय क्या आपके जाने वाले बहुत सारे कस्टमर्स उनको
Yeah.
असुविधा हुई थी? Were they facing any inconvenience or they were stuck because of the change of government's plan in the border reopening?
नो लाइक व्हेन दी पहले जब अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था इन द मंथ ऑफ सितंबर, सो उन लोगों ने बोला कि फरवरी 14 से आपका बॉर्डर ओपन होगा एंड जनवरी 17 से ऑस्ट्रेलिया से बॉर्डर ओपन होगा. बट दे वर वेरी क्लियर एट द टाइम सेइंग लाइक 80% वैक्सीनेशन होना है तब भी आप बॉर्डर ओपन करेंगे. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल गॉट वैक्सीनेटेड, यू नो. हमारा इंडियन कम्युनिटी हो गया, एशियन कम्युनिटी हो गया. सो आपको वैक्सीनेशन परसेंटेज वाज रियली हाई बिकॉज लाइक दे वर हैविंग ए होप दैट ओके बॉर्डर रीओपन होगा अगर हम वैक्सीनेटेड है तो, you know. So with that hope people went and get vaccinated. But that time there was like a lot of bookings we have done, like most of the calls who were calling us, like they were just booking the tickets because they
Mhm.
had a belief on the government of New Zealand that, you know, they will be opening borders after 14th of February. But when they announced saying like okay we are pausing the border reopening plan and because of the Omicron, so that's when they've, you know, the hope has shut down, you know. And when they are giving a new dates, so लोग का ये है कि यार बाद में भी change कर सकते हैं इन लोग, you know. So we
Sure.
don't believe them, you know. That's what the feedback we are receiving. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now just try to uncomplicate it and get more facts around that. So
Yeah.
लोगों को प्रॉब्लम क्यों हो रही है या क्यों होनी चाहिए? Is it not easy for them to reschedule their flight, or airlines they tend to hold back that money? Can you just enlighten us more on that?
Okay, what's really happening nowadays? There is very limited airlines who are traveling to India. So where we have like Emirates, Qatar, and Singapore, where the pricing wise, हम लोग check करेंगे तो around 1500 or 1450 से starting price है. Okay, per person. So if you're talking about a family of four, so they'll be spending like around 5,000, $6,000 in advance, paying in advance, you know, and confirming their trip, confirming their holidays with the employer and stuff, and they'll be planning accordingly. सो आजकल क्या हो रहा है कि जो कोई भी जा रहा है, सो बैक होम दे आर प्लानिंग फॉर सम काइंड ऑफ वेडिंग्स भी हो रहा है फैमिलीज में. दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स आल्सो गेटिंग प्लान डिपेंड ऑन द ट्रैवल अरेंजमेंट्स व्हिच people are, you know, doing it from New Zealand and Australia mostly. So
Mhm.
जब गवर्नमेंट ने लाइक फिर से रूल चेंज कर दिया, दे हैव टू चेंज एवरीथिंग. एंड ऑल्सो लाइक जो प्राइजेस है वो कभी भी चेंज हो सकता है डिपेंड ऑन द अवेलेबिलिटी के हिसाब से. If
Mhm.
you talk about April month, it's a peak season for because of the school holidays. उधर हम
Mhm.
लोग चेक करेंगे तो टिकट चार्जेस इज अराउंड 2200 as well. So where
Okay.
they have to pay the price difference. अगर उन
Mm.
लोग कैंसिल करना चाहते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल, where they do
Mm.
get refund process does take time. And there are
Mm.
some airlines they are giving only credit now because of airline went through a very difficult time from past 2 years. So अभी
Mm.
business open हुआ and because
Mm.
of some external factor, if they are giving the entire money back, so which
Mm.
they'll be using already for the staffing, मतलब इनके लिए यूज कर चुका होगा, so they have to
बिल्कुल.
take out from the reserve money and then they have to pay to the customer. So
Mm.
refund process बहुत delay भी हो रहा है, you know.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
of all these things, like अगर $5,000-6,000 or $10,000 अगर आपने पे कर दिया and you don't know what's going to happen and you don't know
Mm.
when you're going to travel, so people
Sure.
don't want
Uh,
to get into
no,
that position. That's the, yeah.
definitely, definitely, and that
Yeah.
explains quite nicely that why
Yeah.
the people they want government to remain firm with their announcement,
Yeah.
particularly in the terms of date of border opening. Now, coming back about the announcement by the government that affects border or that affects the broader travel industry, we all know that travel industry has been struggle. It was at the receiving end throughout the last 2 years,
Yeah.
and there have been many kinds of different kinds of announcement coming from government, left, right, center. So I want to understand from you as a trade operator that
Yeah.
how easy or how convenient was it for you as a trade operator to be getting all kind of updates about government's decision in a timely manner?
Okay, in terms of government is giving an information like what are the new regulatories and stuff like that. So which help, you know, we'll be advising to the customer depend on the latest news and the regulatories. So we are getting the information. That's not an issue. But only one thing is whichever information they are giving, we are not able to assure the customer that this information is gonna be same, you know, at the time of your travel, because it's getting changed day by day. Like every
Hmm.
month there's a new rule. Every month there's going to be new, you know, a
Hmm.
change in terms of the regulatories. So
Hmm.
when we are giving an information in the month of January, and if it get changed in February, the customer will be just thinking, okay, you know, we are giving some information, you know, every time there will be new information which we'll be giving.
Hmm.
So the only one thing is like when New Zealand government is announcing about the border reopening plan, so they have to stay, they know the consequences in advance,
Mhm.
with my understanding,
Mhm.
so they'll know the consequences if they open the border, what's going to happen if they prepare
Mhm.
the people accordingly. So and announce it, so which will make people very clear about it other than confusing them. Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
there'll
No,
be a
no.
lot of information which we get, but again, we do segregate things, we do filter something and then inform to the customer, because like if you
Okay.
give like everyday new information, which gonna be a very negative impact on the companies, especially like us. So
Mhm.
there are like a lot of travel agencies vanished after the COVID. So with a
Sure.
study, like there used to be 5,000 travel agents in New Zealand, but
Mhm.
now ended up with around 1,200 left. So which is
Well,
quite a lot.
that's a kind of
Yeah,
a bloodbath. We would say
yeah.
that's a kind of a
For the
bloodbath that the
travel
whole
industry,
travel
especially.
industry has seen.
Yeah,
And no, kudos to you and the others who are still surviving during these
yeah,
difficult times. I do
yeah,
understand it's a difficult time, but I do
yeah,
understand that it's very important for trade operators like you to always earn the trust of your customers.
yeah.
And that is why probably operating in current environment is so difficult and challenging for you. So enlighten us a little bit more about how the travel industry has changed now. आज की डेट में जब आप अपने कस्टमर्स की कॉल्स को जवाब देते हैं, बात करते
Yeah.
हैं, तो what kind of conversation you need to have to ensure you get their business?
Okay. पहले क्या होता था, like people used to book the tickets in online. They just book it in online. Matlab they were not really worried to go to a travel agent and things like that. They were just
Mhm.
booking tickets through mobile apps and websites and just travel. But abhi
Mhm.
kya ho raha hai ki there is a requirements, like certain things need to be done before they travel. So the travel agents are the one who are advising them in step by step process. So
Mhm.
that is the difference now. If you book it in online, there are a lot of
Mhm.
people. I normally visit to airport, to drop some friends and family members and stuff like that. So I do
Mhm.
see a lot of people struggling there to fill the online forms, documentations and all was not there, because
Mhm.
the online website, they just leave it on the customer head, like they'll not be taking any responsibility in terms of
Right.
informing or giving the necessary information.
Mhm.
But whereas
Mhm.
travel agents, so they'll be
Mhm.
doing, step by step, they'll be explaining to the customer. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
because of the regulatories changing, for the travel agencies, it's very hard for us to convince the customer. It is not only the flight ticket charges, we have to think about the COVID charges, COVID tests they have to take. So it's going to
Mhm.
cost them some money. And also, there are some online documentation need to be done. Like
Sure.
if they're coming here, like previously they used to be MIQ, now they have to be in the home quarantine. Again, there
Mhm.
are some guidelines which they have to follow. So we as a
Sure.
travel agent, we have to explain each and everything. Previously,
Right.
we used to book tickets in 4 to 5 minutes time, and in ten
Mhm.
minutes, yeah, our customer used to get the ticket. But now to
Mhm.
give the information, it's taking more than half an hour now. So
Okay.
just
All
making
right.
sure that customer do understand everything. So
Sure.
that's the one thing. And
Mhm.
second thing is, like, with the airlines are very limited, so where we are not able to give much options to the customer. So
Mhm.
that's the another backlog which travel agents are having. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, but
No, no, thank you very much for that
yeah,
valuable information. That gives a good insight of how
yeah,
our travel industry is changing as a
yeah,
whole, and surely it is putting a lot of pressure on everyone, including
yeah.
travelers and train operators
So
and airlines as well, to
yeah,
find ways to operate in the new change reality of COVID-19
yeah.
pandemic. Now,
So,
coming back and talking about this latest decision of border reopening, and
mhm.
as we all know, that government has announced five-stage process
Yeah,
where starting from 27th of February, when New Zealanders from Australia,
Australia.
vaccinated New Zealanders from Australia would be eligible to come, to
Yeah,
right till October, when foreigners will eventually be allowed to come and enter into New Zealand.
yeah.
So, what kind of workload or what kind of business you are anticipating in the coming or in the different stages?
Okay, like when we talk about, like, Eco Travels is a Indian community based travel agency from day one. Like from past
Mhm.
13 years, we were
Mhm.
just in service with for the Indian community especially.
Mhm.
So for the people who is from Australia, the first stage is not going to affect or impact our business quite a lot. It's not
Right.
going to be, because Australia, like most of the Kiwis who are stuck in Australia, so they may
Mhm.
choose like the companies which is located in Australia. Okay.
Sure.
When you talk
Mm.
about 14th of March, that is where our actual customer flow will start. So people
Right.
who stuck in India or
Mhm.
other parts of Asian country like Indian subcontinent, so where
Mhm.
they'll be started coming in. But the main confusion where we have is, like, when they say about eligible travelers, so
Hmm.
Immigration New Zealand, they are not able to answer the calls on time, so they do just call travel agent and ask. They
Hmm.
send about their visa copy and they just ask us whether we are
Hmm.
eligible to come on
Yeah,
stage 2
just
or
to help
stage
you in
3.
that, I'm pretty sure you would have the right information. But just to add on that, the
Yeah,
Indian Weekender has reported very explicitly on what actually is eligible travelers. So,
yeah.
yeah, if you wish, you can point to our story as well. That is available
Sure,
online and
definitely.
social
Yeah,
media.
that's gonna take off a lot of our job, and which can answer most of the questions by the customers.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So that's the yeah we are expecting a good numbers by April, in this third stage, where a lot of
Right.
migrant workers, or people who got stuck there for a very long time, so
Mm,
they start come back. And once the 2021 resident visas getting approved, like after March, then a lot of
mm.
people are planning to travel, so
From
back
here as
home and
well.
then come back. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
yes, that
this
that sounds
this
very
year.
good and very
Yeah,
promising now that
yeah.
after 2 long years of
If they
hard
don't change the rules again.
well,
That's
fingers
again.
crossed.
Yeah,
Fingers
yeah,
crossed. Let's keep fingers crossed, and that is why it is important for us to continuously speak to everyone, to
yeah,
people, to the government, and to important stakeholders like you, to
yeah,
understand how government's decisions are continuously impacting. So this
yeah,
is one area where Indian Weekender has been following and trying to
yeah,
be connected with the nerve of Givi Indian community. That how easy it is, or how difficult it is to trust the government's latest announcement
yeah,
on this border reopening, which you have rightly endorsed that there is
yeah,
still an element of doubt.
yeah,
And yes, we will continue to keep attack on
yeah.
that.
Thank you so
So
much
thank you very much.
for
Yes,
yeah, for Indian Weekender, for keeping people up to date, and sharing the valuable information, and making
sure,
people understand and things like that. Would like to thank the customers, or Eco Travel supporters, for being with us during the very hard time as well. So would like to thank everyone, and we'll be in service for the
sure.
community. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Pradeep. We will
Thank
look
you so much,
forward
Jay.
to
Thank you
speak
so
to you
much
in
for
the near
that.
future as
Yeah.
well.
Thank you so much.
So that's Sandeep along with our production team here at Weekender at 5. Thank you very much.